Hello and welcome to a very exclusive and special interview on ET Edge Insights. Today we've got a very special guest with us, Mr. Sanjay Kulkarni. He is the president of Fleetguard Filters. Mr. Sanjay Kulkarni, it's a pleasure to host you on ET Edge Insights. Thank you for doing this with us.
Thank you so much, sir. It's a pleasure.
Pleasure is all ours. Thank you. Let me begin by asking you, in today's scenario, when change is accelerating, the market is very volatile, leadership is a big challenge. So, how do you address leadership in this kind of scenario and with regards to your organization?
Okay, see, leadership plays a pivotal role in shaping up any organization, and it's very challenging. It has been much more challenging than it was ever before.
Right.
See, when you are talking about leadership, it includes a lot of things. You need to have strategic plans in place. You need to build a great ecosystem around it. You need to build systems around it. You need to build skills around it. You need to develop people.
Right.
And these plans are strategic in nature but vulnerable at the same stage, because you cannot claim that you have control over outside environment at all times. So this is quite vulnerable, quite weak at times. So what you can do is to make sure you are internally very strong and solid. You just make sure that come what may the situation, you need to build a robust organization, very strong organization. And when we say a strong organization, there are a lot of things that are covered into it. Say it's a technology, it's about human resource, it's about integration of all the systems put together, it's about upscaling, it's about adjusting yourself and the organization to the latest technology and all of that stuff. So there are a lot of pressures, and you need to make the organization strong at all times so that it can sustain. There is greater amount of competition coming into foray, so you have to make sure all that happens on a consistent basis. See, there is a devil in the details. Your plans, your thinking has to be as perfect as possible. And that is something which is really challenging in today's atmosphere. You have to be very, very thoughtful. You have to know your industry very well. You have to know your products very well. You have to know where the technology is going. You have to know the international circumstances where things are going to affect your business and all of that stuff. So make yourself stronger at all times is I think where the management plays a very critical role according to me.
Right. Interesting. Now that you've given a complete overview of how today's day and age leadership is, what is one big challenge or maybe one of the biggest challenges you have encountered, and what are the lessons you learned out of it, came out of it and succeeded in negating that challenge?
Okay, you see, business when it grows or sustains, there are a lot of challenges. I mean, challenges in terms of people, challenging in terms of, as I said, about outside environment. But one of the critical challenges that we have faced all these times are on people. Basically, I'm a people-oriented person as a leader, and then I see one of the challenges where succession plan and people development is something which I feel are very, very important. Constant upscaling of people, this development in order to make them more competent in terms of technology, in terms of knowledge, in terms of where they are going to lead the organization. That is where I think is one of the good. I mean, it's good challenge to have, because then one of the major roles of any leadership is to make sure that the people who are going to follow you, your successors, have to be as strong or even stronger than you are. So one of the things that we keep on driving in the organization is to make sure that the leaders are developing their subordinates to the extent that they are more capable than the leader himself or
Right.
herself.
Right.
So that is what we are consistently looking for.
Right. Right. So, interestingly, you've talked about future-proofing your leaders in terms of what's come in a competitive market. So, while there's a process involved in building up leaders, as an individual, you have also evolved, like you said, in your leadership skills. So, what are some of the finer things you have learned in leadership skills that have allowed you to make your way forward in this journey?
Okay, see, one of the things that we have constantly, tried to make sure we do a good job in is to make a decision, a proper decision at all times. So, decision making, according to me, is one of the major things where that drives the organization well enough. So, as they say, a decision. I mean, even if a 50% of whatever decision that you take today sustain uh, proves to be a good decision, say after 10 years, then you are close to be a genius.
Right.
Okay, that is what we say. So decision making is very, very important. And then at the same time, I mean, it's not only about decision making as such as a process, but you have to continuously make sure that you develop an environment, you develop that kind of openness in the organization, that kind of support to people for them to make better decisions. They, in order to make them better decision makers, so what follows philosophy that we follow in the organization is that we are allowing people to make mistakes, and when, as long as they are free to take decisions, the organization grows very well, according to us. That is our experience. So what we tell people is that you make decision yourself, we will support. I mean, if you fail, it's our responsibility. If you succeed, it's your responsibility. But the only basic fundamental rule is that you don't make a wrong decision twice. So you have wherewithal to make a decision. We will support with technology, with knowledge, with training, and all of those stuff. But those decision making has to be proper. With there are sub rules. For example, you need to talk to people. You have to, generally those decisions are taken in a group. We have a group thinking in the organization. So generally people are, we make people take decision, and they are very comfortable taking decisions in consultation with people, but we support them at all times. So decision making is not only at leadership level, it happens at all level. It's kind of percolated down to the last
Right.
strata in the organization. So we believe in a decision making. We encourage people to take decisions. We encourage people to fail, because unless and until they fail, they will not learn.
Right.
So one of the other aspects of decision making is that we don't teach people to do things. So people follow their leaders. So they continuously keep on looking at the leaders, how he behaves or she behaves, the way the attitude is there, the way thinking clarity is there, and that is what we people encourage people to learn and
Right.
take decisions.
Right.
And that is how we have built this organization. We have been successful so far. I
Right.
can claim that.
So
To an extent.
it's a strong culture that is, or it's in the DNA of your organization that that allows this kind of a strategy seamlessly in place.
Yes, culture is very, very important.
Right.
Culture is absolutely important.
Right.
As I said, the openness, the transparency, the support, and the freedom that they get
Right.
is something we have very, very consciously built in the organization. It has now, the thing is that it comes very natural to us, and then it has to come very naturally to the succeeding leaders also.
Right.
So it is something which we have very consistently sort of made sure all of these years.
Right. Right. Fantastic. As a leader, Sanjay Kulkarni, what legacy does he wants to leave behind, say after a decade?
Okay, as I said, if there are more Sanjay Kulkarnis in the organization which are better than me, that is something which I would like to know. That is something which, that is a legacy that I would like to leave
Right.
when I will leave this organization. Uh, and then, as I said, there have to be more and more capable leaders in the organization, because you see, as I said, you don't have at times very less control over or things which are happening outside of the organization. Within the organization, it's fine. You know, I mean, you know what the extent of any situation is going to be, but then outside things which are going to affect the business are going to be really crucial. Like, for example, AI, the generative AI, the other AI, these technology. I mean, if you see the technology every 3 or 4 or 5 years, things are really radically changing. So, you have to make sure people are really capable, they are knowledgeable about the technology, and they are sustainable.
Right.
So that is what we are trying to do.
Right. So you've practically talked about every aspect of leadership, touching upon innovation, legacy, succession. One word of advice to a future aspiring leader, what will it be?
Okay. See, according to me, there are few things. I mean, it's not about a leader itself. It's leadership itself. It's about how somebody evolves as an individual. So if you want to be a leader, leaders don't happen just like that. So it has to be proper training, proper attitude, absolute desire to learn at all times. I mean, I can give you an example of Sachin Tendulkar. So even I think he retired in maybe 2014 or 15 or whatever, but he still goes to the academy and plays his cricket every day. So the process of learning has not stopped, even if the individual has practically retired from the sport.
Right.
So we want people to, as I said, you keep on learning everything. So if you think that I'm complete, I'm done, I know whatever is happening under the sun, then you are finished as a leader.
Right.
You're finished as an individual. If you really want to grow in any aspect of your life, be it a career, is a sport, or be it entertainment or whatever, this process of continuous learning is very, very important. If you say I'm learned, you are gone.
True.
Yeah, and so there are ways and means to learn things. So it's formal learning, informal learning. I think it's all mixture of all those things where a capable leader is sort of developed.
Right. On that note, Sanjay Kulkarni, wonderful insights. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure is mine also.